Loktarogar. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, everyone's favorite Orc Warrior, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. I dropped on the scale today, down to 218. Finally swooshed a little bit down, scale's coming down. Training was tough today. I'm not going to lie, I had a really late night. I did not get home and get to bed till about 3:30 a.m. this morning. You know, had some social stuff going on that I had to sort out in my personal life. And, you know, I was out late, and it definitely affected my training a bit this morning. I had to start training much later. I actually, because I knew I was going to end up having a somewhat late evening, I did some of today's videos yesterday, actually, and so that they were ready to go early this morning. And I didn't have to get that much done today, so I could try to sleep in a little bit later. But ultimately, I ended up with only about 4 hours of sleep. I was still able to squat, but when I got to the third set, I just wasn't able to get all 5 reps with this. Well, that's okay. I swooshed. I feel like I'm maintaining muscle pretty good. I did notice, though, even from doing the pressing, the standing press on Friday, it made my lower back really uncomfortable, and it was somewhat uncomfortable most of the weekend. And I've noticed it doesn't get bothered doing squats. So I've realized for now I need to kind of trim that press back out. I know I've been doing it every workout, and I need to make sure that my triceps and long head of my triceps get plenty of work. So I decided to throw Skullcrushers in after my bench press. So I'm basically doing 2 compound type arm movements, even though they're direct arm movements. I think I need that because I feel like the benching and the pull-ups will build my upper body still pretty good. They'll keep stimulating growth, particularly with squats and deadlifts in there. And that's where my real focus is going to be. But I probably do need additional arm work at this point, you know, just to give them that little bit of edge. And again, if you guys will notice, they're compound movements the way I'm doing them, which I've discussed in the past. I don't believe in isolation. I believe the evidence is pretty conclusive at this point that isolation movements or attempting to isolate a muscle is not actually a good idea. And so that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm putting the real focus, though, on the squat, the bench press, and the weighted pull-up. And then my deadlift, I'm doing a little bit different of approach. It's getting trained every workout, but I'm not going that hard. I'm just slowly building that hook grip up. And then, you know, some direct arm work. So it's still training minimalism, and I'm going to keep the scale coming down. Like I said, down another pound, down to 218. So it's coming along. I had actually thought I would be dropping a little quicker than I have been this last couple weeks, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to drop at the rate I'm going to drop as long as I know I'm in a calorie deficit and I'm consistently losing weight, consistently losing body fat, maintaining at least my work sets. That's good. That's what we want. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. At the rate I'm going now, that goal for this year might be a little close. It might be a little close. But I'm just going to buckle down, keep my diet on point, and just keep moving forward with it, right? That's all we can do. Keep putting in the effort, keep putting in the work, keep the diet on point, keep the calorie deficit on point, keep that protein high, and keep doing these exercises, at least for this week, and we'll assess when we get to next week. Again, my main movements are staying the same, though. I've still got the focus on the same main movements. It's just some of the secondary exercises. I'm going to adjust just based around where I'm feeling tweaks and overuse and things like that, and still try to keep a focus on my weak points with that stuff, because that's what we need to do. You know, and all the performance today, actually, considering the lack of sleep and everything, I'm really surprised. I'm surprised because a lot of times that would just devastate my performance. And I mean, it did okay. I mean, it's not an ideal day, but it wasn't bad. And I feel like the workload and the reps and sets and weights were decent. They were decent. Better than I expected, all things considered, particularly with the scale finally dropping down another pound. Combined with the lack of sleep last night. Yeah, it's better than I expected it to be. A lot better than I expected it to be. So we'll get to those Skullcrushers here in a minute. The Skullcrushers, again, you guys know what I do. I have that, again, the shoulder extension happening there. And again, that recruits the long head more, and it adds more range of motion to the exercise. And it's easy to set up when you've got safeties like this. It's real easy to get under here and set up and just do it right there on your flat bench and your rack. So that's definitely a perk. And people who have a normal cage, you can still do that if you just set your J-hooks on the outside of a normal power rack. If you don't have like a half rack like this, or a squat rack or something, because you can do this in a squat rack also really, really well. Again, for people who don't want to clean it up and lay down. But you know, I've done these before. If you have space in a gym, just clean it up and lay down on a bench. You can also do that if you don't have something like this available to you. Bench with safeties and everything. Just be aware though that when you do that in commercial gyms, you know, you tend to hit morons because they don't know what you're doing. They're completely clueless around you. So again, you have to work around what you have. Pull-ups were actually pretty easy today. And again, probably because scale's going down. I'm losing weight again, so a few pounds taken off the pull-ups. And yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I can even see here, I'm starting to get leaner. Even that saggy butt is improving slowly. You know, it's all going to take time. I think another 10 pounds, I think we're going to really start seeing a significant difference at this point. I mean, we're seeing it now, but, you know, another 9 or 10 pounds. I mean, I get down under 210, because I'm 218 now. Another 8+ pounds of fat lost if I lose another 10 pounds. Yeah, we're going to see an even more significant difference. And, you know, again, I'm taking my time with it, as long as I'm going to be consistent, because at this point, it's just going to be about changing my lifestyle. It's all just change of lifestyle, better overall relationship with food. Again, being stricter with my food. It's really what it comes down to. You know, and I always hate it though. People keep asking, what are your macros? Your macros don't matter. I don't know why people make such a big deal about that. Your protein and your calories matter. That's it. The other stuff, yeah, it matters, but not to the degree that you think it does. You don't have to hit an exact amount of carb and fat. You can fill your remaining non-protein calories with a mixture of carbs and fat, right? And it's not going to matter that much. It might be better to get more of your carbs before and after your training on your training days throughout the week, which is largely what I do right now. That's usually your best method if you're trying to squeeze out that last little tiny drop of performance and everything. But even that's not a total game changer. So, you know, it is what it is, and that's the other thing. It doesn't matter what someone else's macros are. What matters are yours. Are you eating enough protein to gain muscle? Are you eating enough protein to preserve muscle when you're losing fat? Are you consuming the calories necessary for your weight to change as necessary? And, you know, your macros and even your caloric needs and all that is going to change over the course of weeks. You know, it's going to change over time. So again, I think people focus on this stuff incorrectly. They really do, worrying about everyone else's macros. Someone else's macros don't matter. They have no bearing on your life. None at all. None at all. So I think those sort of questions are silly. They really are. They really are. I was like, well, I just want to know to see how I compare. Well, you're going to be different. Your caloric needs and energy turnover are different from someone else's. So what do you mean compare? Like, what's the benefit to that? Like, how do you benefit in any meaningful way from that? You don't. Does it matter if I lose weight on 2,500 calories or 4,500 calories? Does it actually matter? Like, if I gave you either answer and my scale was dropping the same amount of weight, would it have any impact on your life? Of course not. Of course not. It won't have any effect on you, other than you decide you believe me or not. So, the hook grip went pretty good today. I feel like that's coming along. Yeah, I think just doing this hook grip 3 days a week is working pretty well. And I've been able to start slowly bringing it up. I mean, I'm still not real heavy yet, but it's getting to where it's not so uncomfortable and not like ripping skin or tearing skin or anything. And that's a good thing. That's what we're shooting for. So even this weight, you know, which is over 100 pounds under what we know my max is right now, or what I've displayed this year. Again, we're getting pretty consistent with that hook grip. And then I finish it off with my cheat curls or compound curls or whatever you guys want to call them. But it's my finishing move, trying to get a little bit of extra bicep development going here, you know, because I definitely need more arm. It's still my weak link. You know, I don't bodybuild, but I am on YouTube and people care about physique, and I might as well work on having better proportions while I'm cutting down. I don't know. I guess we'll see when I'm done. I don't know. We'll see what I look like when I'm done. I really don't even know what to expect. when I get to a much lower body fat. I really don't know what to expect. I guess we'll wait and see. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.